And you're a trailblazer, don't you forget it, because you're brave. Somebody had to do it.
I'm going to show you how to read the land. I did not learn that in school. I had to teach myself. Right here is more than all the population of the whole planet. What I'm going to teach you today would have changed my life, and it is changing the world. Oh,
wow. Yeah! Beauty shot!
Look.
It's time to meet the new pioneers transforming farming and food. These extraordinary women and men are revitalizing the soil, restoring the environment, and protecting wildlife, essential elements of Mother Nature. Prepare to be surprised as we discover one of the most crucial movements dedicated to making our world a better place. It's time to meet our farm heroes. Ray Archuleta.
Laura, how are you?
Good. It's so good to see you.
Good to see you.
We got great weather, huh?
Welcome to the White Cloud.
What you're doing that's so special that I'm super excited about is giving them something to look at, right? Because I struggle to remember so much of the science and the data, but I will never forget the rain simulator that you did on Kiss the Ground because I saw it and it made sense.
Yeah. So what I love about this demonstration, what it does, it kind of breaks our paradigms. I spent 8 years at a university, and not one time did I have one professor tell me, Ray, this is the goal. Not one professor told me, hey, Ray, your goal is to help landowners mimic nature, mimic the design, mimic its architecture. And they can really understand that what we're going to talk about tomorrow really is how do we emulate the natural system in our cropping systems? Because once we get a healthy soil, healthy plant, healthy animal, healthy human, healthy food, healthy climate, healthy everything.
Promote life, right?
I love that. It's very simple.
I learned that from you.
Yeah. Sometimes we'll use words like ecosystem processes. Let's just keep it simple. Life processes.
Life processes, okay.
So this rain simulator is going to teach us 4 things. Number 1 process, how we turn photosynthesis, turn light into chemical energy to feed the microbes. And then we're going to learn about how powerful biodiversity is and how biodiversity helps regulate the water cycle and the nutrient cycle. So our planet is really suffering under these issues that we have with these 4 processes. We're not capturing enough sun, we don't have enough biodiversity, and our soils are not working for the water cycle to work properly.
They're not working where man has stepped in. So when you talk about things are broken, which I agree, that's where man has stepped in and tried to improve. Is that kind of the idea? Without looking at consequences and without understanding, is that right?
Yes, and probably a better way to say is we've disrupted it.
Disrupted, okay.
Because the planet still has life in it, but that subtlety that we've disrupted has caused major water quality issues, major health issues, major climatic issues. That subtlety, what we're going to teach, if we can heal agriculture and the grasslands, we don't have to do anything else. That's how powerful this is.
Wow.
And a lot cheaper too. We're going to go collect the first sample for the rain simulator, and we're going to go to a pasture that's been doing adaptive grazing. And adaptive grazing means, the concept is we move the cattle like buffalo. We kind of group them up tight. So we're kind of biomimicry, mimicking life. We're trying to mimic the way nature moves animals. And the predators help group the cows tight. And that grouping allows better manure distribution and urine to feed microbes. What tool we use to mimic the wolf or the coyotes or the predators is hot wire. An electric wire with a solar panel and a battery, or it can be charged, and so it helps move the cattle from field to field and helps group and manage those cattle tightly. We don't want our grasses and our grassland to be overgrazed. We don't want bare ground. And so our goal is to learn how to move the animals accordingly. So this first stop is right next into the pasture system. We're going to get a pan and we're going to collect soils. We're going to collect a soil sample undisturbed. Pasture systems always tend to do better in the rain simulator because there's living roots 24/7, a lot longer. They feed the microbes. They have more root systems in there. And usually pastures are a little more diverse and they have flowers, broadleaf. It's beautiful. So you have a constant flow of energy. Yeah, so the problem is we start blaming cows, and it's not the cow, it's the how. Good soils will hold its integrity. They will hold their structure.
With the aggregates.
Yes, they're, ooh. Now, we need to explain what an aggregate is. Aggregate is, it's the biological fusion of microbes and plants and fungi creating and feeding the microbes to create these super glues that create pore space. You ever seen like little air sacs that are wrapped with veins and arteries? Aggregates the same way. They look granular, but they look like coffee grounds, that cottage cheese, chocolate cake. We're gonna show you some in a little second here.
Would this be an aggregate?
No.
No, it's
That's
inside.
the whole chunk. This is an aggregate. See those that look like little BBs?
Those are aggregates.
Those are aggregates.
Okay.
And those are biologically fused together. They look like coffee grounds, little marbles, little BBs. This dictates the pore space. And guess what's inside of those?
I was just going to say, in your hand, what are you holding? How many microorganisms do you think?
Billions.
Because you hear that all the time. A tablespoon of soil, billions. Right there, we're looking at
More than
bacteria, protozoa, nematodes, the little worms.
right here is more than all the population of the whole planet. And they're alive.
People need to know, right?
A good, healthy grass system can weigh as much as an elephant, which is 10,000 pounds
Right.
in an acre.
So when you're tilling,
When you're tilling,
you're killing
ooh,
those.
oh my. Tillage side. You know what the word side means?
Suicide,
To kill.
to kill, homicide, right? So
Pesticide,
Pest-
herbicide, kill the plant, and tillicide kills the house. It kills it modifies the biology. So what it does, it simplifies the habitat of the organisms. So I'd call it tillicide. A lot of people don't like that, but it's true. Did I say not to till? I didn't say that. I said careful with your tools. Go. Yay, woo.
Beautiful. Look how moist it is.
And still notice how much moisture and touch it, how cool it is.
Totally. So it's a hot day, it's dry, it's only gone 1.5 inches in 2 months, and this is cool and damp.
Yes. And we're understanding that microbes can actually, around the root, create an environment that it actually creates more moisture by the slime around the root. So microbes, we're finding out that microbes actually help the plants survive some of the droughts. So it's pretty cool. And management and learning grazing management is not easy. I used to think it was a lot easier. It's not. It's very elegant. You have to learn how to watch the animals, watch the weather, move the animals. It's much more sophisticated. So we got to make it fit in the pan. So once that's done, you do it like this. And then,
Ta-da.
la la.
Nice.
So healthy soils are lighter because they have more pore space. Now what we'll show, photosynthesis. And that's why you can show all these processes with this demonstration. And this pasture, we'll see when we rain who does better in infiltrating and holding the water. But here?
I guess instead
You're in the
No,
wrong
no,
part.
we're gonna close it. Let's go grab some more. Thank you. Thank you, Betty. So what we're looking at is
Monocrop?
a monocrop, no-till field soybean. They do not till the soil.
Okay.
So this is a monoculture soybean.
So that's important because when I look at it, again, as a consumer, wow, look at this farmland. It's so green and healthy.
All right.
Because I don't know.
Right.
So now that I know, I can feel
the plant is healthy,
the plant is healthy.
but it's not to the ability that it should be.
Okay.
There's the things we're talking about we can't see with our own eye. This is a nice soybean field, but notice there's hardly any weeds.
That's a big giveaway, right?
And it's okay to have some weeds out there, but for farmers, you get judged by this. So let's talk about that
Okay, let's
narrative,
go.
okay? Laura, what you see here is a monoculture crop of soybean. This is very common throughout the United States.
How common?
Well, to tell you the sheer size of it, think about the size of Texas. The whole Midwest, isn't it? You can figure corn, soybean, and wheat. We are talking all the way from Minnesota, all the way down to Louisiana, Georgia. I would say 30 to 40% of our country, maybe 30% of the landmass is into corn and soybean. I would say less than 1% of that total acres is in region. Think of about a Texas and a half is grown in corn and soybean alone in our whole country. That is huge.
Okay.
So you can see this. This is a typical field of conventional agriculture. They use fertilizer, they do tillage, they do chemicals, herbicides.
One crop.
For one crop.
Okay.
It takes huge amounts of ancient sunlight to produce this crop. What do I mean by
What does
ancient
that
sunlight? Anything that runs on fuel, natural gas, diesel. It takes a lot of energy, ancient sunlight to create these fields. I want our farms to run on new sunlight, to run on the living plant and covers, turning sunlight and leaking liquid carbon into the soil.
That's a new viewpoint for me. The ancient sunlight, because that's where it came from. Fossil fuels.
Fossil fuel.
Fossil fuel. So we want new sunlight.
It's a larger footprint from the beginning of the soil all the way to the table.
Practices and procedures.
And one of the biggest consumer of energy is making chemical fertilizer. Grabbing the nitrogen and converting it, it takes copious amounts of natural gas to create fertilizer. It is huge. You know why we know this is a no-till field?
There's corn cobs. I don't know.
We still see old residue there.
Yeah.
Old corn cobs, old corn. In a conventional field, you would not see that. It'd be buried. That's the problem with no-till without covers.
It's like concrete.
It's like concrete. Now, they got some pores, but look how much layering is going on.
It's like plates.
Yeah, that's exactly.
Actually, they call that platy soil.
Platy. I've read about that. So now I'm seeing it. Platy soil.
And we don't want that. No-till doesn't work very well without covers.
No-till. Okay, so if you're going to do no-till, you better get some covers on.
Yes.
Yeah.
The thing that Ted and I don't like is that I'm going to have to start over again.
So microbes do these nodules
Yep.
to keep the energies until it's available for the plant.
And guess
Is that
what?
a storage?
You don't have to buy nitrogen. This plant doesn't need nitrogen.
Again, I don't think we can say that enough.
Yeah.
So the plant, I mean, of course, nature takes care of it. So this is nitrogen, Mother Nature style, as opposed to flying over with something spreading.
Got it.
Okay.
When you grow monocultures, you build a huge plethora of fungi that are harmful to the plant. That's why they spray it.
But there's a lot of fungi, and that's how we pronounce it, that are beneficial.
Yes.
So we're killing fungi because there's a certain kind that's detrimental, but there's so many that are part of the ecosystem that are beneficial, but these chemicals do not know the difference, correct?
Right. Remember the soils that we looked on the other field as soybean and also corn, no-till? Look how many aggregates this one has. You notice that? These aggregates are these little.
It's like night and day from the other one.
Look at that! Look at that! Look at those little coffee grounds. Those little pellets. These little BBs, and how way more aggregate in the other one. The other one broke up in giant chunks. Well, Laura, let's talk about the good and bad. And ugly.
Yeah, absolutely.
Good. What do covers do? They change everything. They feed that system. That's how they live, living plants. The bad, you have to manage more. You have to be a darn good manager. Management covers is not easy. You're bringing another part to the system that's very difficult. It's timely. The ugly, you could lose yield. And if you're not timely, you're not managing, it is, regenerative agriculture is not for wimps. It's tough. Right, Ted?
Yeah, and
It is tough.
a lot of producers want to just hit the easy button and make things as quick and convenient as possible. That is the one thing about this kind of system. It does take much more hands-on management. You have to be out in your fields, walking them, taking a look, seeing what's going on to make those informed decisions, those management calls. For a lot of guys who are farming several thousands and thousands of acres, they prefer to let an agronomist make those calls. You know, and I'm a small scale farmer, make no doubt about it. But I feel like it's my job to be making those calls. And well, if I let somebody else make those calls, we wouldn't be in this system. It's not easy.
Management.
But it's worth it.
Yeah. Aside from the blood,
He doesn't sound convinced. Yeah.
Tell me, what's, yeah.
I've had some hiccups, some missteps along the way. Dad and I have had some missteps along the way. It has not been easy. Looking at these beans right now, I feel a lot better about where I'm at. They don't look
great.
They don't look bad.
And you're a trailblazer, don't you forget it, because you're brave. Somebody had to do it. Somebody had to say, this was not easy, and here were the challenges. But look at your beans and what you feel in your heart as far as how you're managing your crops. So thank you for being a trailblazer. Thank you for inspiring the trailblazers.
I have been out walking in fields after corn harvest and seeing not just the corn cobs from the previous harvest, but from the 1-2 cycles before.
Because there wasn't enough.
Because basically
healthy.
the soil was not able to decompose it. And
That's an indicator of good health.
Where's the cover crop? It was eaten.
It was consumed.
It was consumed.
They're this year's nutrients. So that's why. And that's a good indicator of good health. It should cycle very quickly. Now, if your residue celebrated its 5th birthday, something's wrong.
There's a problem.
And we've seen that. Look at the pore spaces. Look at this. Way different from the other guys. You see that?
There's the wigglers.
Today's going to be very intense. I grew up in northern New Mexico. My family has been there since the Spaniards came there. In fact, there's a county in Colorado called Archuleta County. And I could not put my mind, and we've been doing this since 1935, since the inception of NRCS. Every time irrigation came, that beautiful Snake River turned to chocolate at my border. My border, where I was responsible for the county of Malheur, it would turn into sediment-filled chocolate. And it got so bad that Brownlee Reservoir, 1 year, got such an algal bloom, a couple of dogs died. But nobody thought about it. Nobody pondered it. But I saw that beautiful emerald-colored Snake River turn to chocolate at my border. I said, something is wrong. 8 years of university, and I did not know the goal. You know what I learned in college? You help producers more yield. This is the goal.
American farmers provide plenty.
You know, that's the way we measure how well we eat. You talk about going out to a steak dinner. You make that out of corn and soybeans. And that's the very stuff we make right here in America is corn and soybeans. And I think that poses a great potential continuing market. 10% of our farmers produce something like 70% of our farm produce.
Yield, yield, yield. And the natural system's working against you. So you're gonna have to use fertilizer, fungicides, insecticides, because it's a battle. It's all about yield. That's what I learned. What I'm gonna teach you today would have changed my life, and it is changing the world. I don't think we realize this is a global movement. Our goal today is how do we emulate nature's design? How do we mimic its architecture, its patterns? How do we listen? I'm part Native American also. You folks viewed it correctly. You used to listen. We used to listen until science got in the way. The wrong science, asking the wrong question. Today, we're going to learn the correct science, asking the correct question, a science of humility. Do you know what that humble question is? How do we mimic you? How do we know you better? It's like a wonderful marriage. The more I know my wife, the more I love her, the more you have understanding. This is what we're going to learn today. How do we mimic the design, the architecture, and make our farms and ranches emulate the design? Regenerative agriculture has this important parameter. You have to be humble. You know what the downfall of regenerative agriculture? You have to manage and you have to think. Are you ready for this journey? Let's go.
Honeybees are actually some of the most versatile Swiss Army bugs. They can get nectar, pollen from anywhere. They go to mushrooms for medicine. They take care of themselves so good that it's kind of just human intervention that's kind of messed them up.
What I want to do is want to see which is capturing water and which is allowing more infiltration and what the runoff is.
One of the most impactful events, I think, is about to happen.